Okay, great. So that is live on the channel 2 at the moment. Okay, perfect. So I will start. I think it is the top of the hour. Wow, it's already 2 minutes past. So we're going to be looking at 2 strategies today inside the DTB system. We're not going to focus too much on the indicators and the rest of the things. We're going to just look at 2 strategies, and one of them is one of the latest releases that we still haven't done all the back end work for it with all the buttons and everything, but we're still going to have a look at the basic functionality of it. Okay, so the risk disclosures for futures trading, there'll be a link to that in the video as well. So have a look through that. So what I wanted to check, I'm just going to load up these strategies. I had these strategies running earlier. I just had to restart NinjaTrader very quickly. So I'm going to just run these. This is my own computer. So I've got a VPS, and I've also got this is basically my programming and testing computer. So this is basically that, and I've also got this. I'm going to load up these 2 strategies, and then we'll go through them. Okay, so this is the second one I'm going to run, and I'm going to do that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got the right data series set up here. So 25 for Tuesdays. Okay, is that right? Doesn't seem 100% right. So let me just quickly check something. So the shadow trading strategy, we go template load. Okay, and then go enable. There we go. I didn't load the template. And that should automatically start. Okay, so I'm going to run that in the background. So I mentioned this a little bit yesterday on the call, but we've got a setup now where we're able to do optimizations across all different PCs, and those same results from those optimizations are going to appear on everybody's system. So like as an example, my own home computer, which is this one over here, my office computer, is based in the Gold Coast of Australia. And then I've got my VPS, which is this one over here, which is based in New York. So it's a dedicated VPS. Now, the VPS has got 1,000 megabytes upload and 1,000 megabytes download. My own home computer has only got a 40 megabyte upload and probably a 20 megabyte download. So we're a bit backwards here in Australia. But the good thing is that even with the differences in the speeds and the data connections, I'm also working off 2 different data connections. So I'm working off a kinetic on my home on this computer, and I'm working off a CQG data feed on my other computer. So it's across different networks, different connections. It's across different countries and everything. So the good thing is that when you run an optimization on the strategies now using the DTB bars, so like the 10-10, like we got over here, we're actually going to get the same result on our optimizations, and we're also going to get the same results on the trades. So earlier today, I was running this chart over here. So I was running this chart, and this is on my home computer, and I was running the exact same chart on my VPS. And what was happening is the results were exactly the same. So where the trades were entering, all of those were actually matching as they should have. I just want to pop this on here. Is this the right date that I'm using? Just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure. So 26th of the 9th. Okay, that was my problem. I had the wrong thing loaded. Let me just see if I just want to make sure I get the right setup loaded. And it is Monday open to Tuesday close. Okay, we'll go through that in a second. Apply. Okay. Something is a little bit off. I just want to see what that could be. So Monday open to Tuesday close. I've got the right template loaded, so I'll just quickly check up on that. So that is all fine by the look of it. All right, so I confirmed that today, which is a good thing. All right, so the strategy that we have running at the moment, I've got a strategy that I activated. This is actually a strategy that's been optimized for the entire trading day. So I ran optimization before today, so last night after the session yesterday. I ran optimization on the strategy that we've been working on, so the continuous strategy. I'll actually bring up a template. So I'm going to just bring up a template for what we were working on. So this is the Tuesday 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. No, hang on one second. I'm looking at the 5 weeks. So Monday open to Tuesday close. So what we're doing over here is we're optimizing the specific trading day. So Monday evening open in the US up until Tuesday close. And we are running that optimization. So what I did over here is I brought up the, we'll do it on the NQ. I've got a 10-10 bar, and I've got the 26th of the 9th up until today, and that's definitely that specific session. So Monday open to Tuesday close, and I ran that optimization, and I'll just run it again just for one last, so we can see the settings. So like a 1 to 20, and I'll do a 1 to 20 over here as well. Okay, just make sure I got the date right. Up until today, yes, it is. Okay, so let's run this. It's only about 200 iterations. If you're going 1 to 40 and 1 to 40, you're going to get about 1,600 iterations. It still takes, very quickly to run. So what we are doing here is we're optimizing the entire, basically the 26th of September up until today, but we're only looking at the Monday open to Tuesday closed data. But we're optimizing the entire trading day. So that's what we've done, what I've done over here. I actually ran setting A and B. I optimized all of these values over here, setting A and B, until right to the bottom. Now, and then I put those settings inside the chart. And that's basically what it's showing. So we've got these values over here. So if we go to daily, you're going to see that that these are all the Monday open to Tuesday close. So you'll see 27:28, which means it's like it's the PM hours. So 6 p.m. to midnight, and then it will be the day. So you'll see it's every single, I think I can show it over here by, I wonder if I can see it over here. Will that actually work? So these are the half hour of the day for all those days. Just trying to see if I can see, so it's daily and I want to make it net. That shows it, okay. So that shows every single week for that Tuesday and what those results have got. So we've had a little bit of a taper down to the end on those specific settings. But that's basically what we're trying to do over here, is by optimizing the specific trading day and see what has worked. So you can also go and look at different settings that come up and see which ones you want to use for that specific trading day. Again, we're also optimizing the entire day from 6:15 p.m. So the strategy runs from 6:15 p.m. all the way up until 4:45 p.m. and all those slots in between. So we're trying to get the best settings for that entire portion of the day, really. So by doing this, you can also look at the half hour of the day, and you can actually choose in there which slots you would like to actually run. So a little bit of a history on that one. So that is the analytical one strategy continuous. And you can basically go and optimize any specific trading day or any period of time by putting in those dates over there and choosing your specific trading hours. Okay, so we did Monday open, Tuesday close on this one. Now, the next strategy that I wanted to show you guys was the shadow trading strategy. So the shadow trading strategy is the strategy that works off this indicator that we have. So this is breaking it up day by day. So I might just duplicate this in a new chart. Actually, I'll bring it up in a new window, which will be just fine. Okay. So our shadow trading indicator is the indicator that basically paints this momentum line. It's going to paint these arrows, and you're going to notice how frequently these arrows actually help determine, where the price is going next. And, this is on a 5-minute chart as an example. So we've basically created a strategy that makes use of these arrows and these signals. And I've actually gone and got a chart. I've actually got a 25-second chart. So I know it sounds like a very low value, which it really is. But I've gone and optimized all the data. And funny enough, the 25-second chart is actually showing the best results. So these arrow painting, so these arrows are happening real time. Like as you see right now, that last arrow just formed the second that this bar closed. So these arrows are going to paint immediately after that bar closes. Okay, so what I did is I ran the optimization on this specific bar, which is a 25-second bar, and these are the results. So I've done a slightly larger patch of time. So I've gone from the 29th of August up until today, and I've only optimized the 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. trading time on Tuesday. So I'm being very, very specific on the day of the week and also the hour of the day. And by running this optimization, the very cool thing about this strategy, at the moment, it's very bare. So it's only got stop ticks and target ticks. But the only two settings that you really have to focus on with this one is the number of arrows and the momentum line level. So these two settings are basically optimizable. So you can go up to 1 to 7 arrows is fine. I'm doing 1 to 3 on here, and the momentum line level is, you can go 1 to 12. You can also do it in iterations of 0.1. So you'll notice on the shadow trading indicator, you're going to see that momentum line. So I'll bring it in again. That momentum line that you're looking at now, this pink value over there, that is the value. So it's got 5.4 at the moment. It's going to keep changing those values. So that is the number that we're optimizing. So I'm going to just run this again. So I'm going to optimize just the single digits. So from 1 to 12 for the momentum line. And I'm going to optimize from 1 to 3. And I'm going to use the 29th of August up until today for only these specific hours of the day, which is 1 hour. And I'm going to run that. And you'll notice that it's only got 72 iterations, and it literally takes a few seconds to run. So I've currently got this strategy activated right now on a chart, and that's why we're seeing a trade that's currently in place. So you'll notice it matches up with the result of this one over here. So that was the first signal that it basically sold. Okay, so by doing this optimization, one of the good things is that you can optimize all different types of charts. So you can optimize from tick charts, second charts, minutes, hourly, daily, all these type of charts you are able to optimize because the shadow trading indicator actually works on any single chart. So even if I go to like this chart over here, and I make this a, let's make this a 60-minute chart as an example. You're going to notice, I'll just take off the other indicator because it's kind of, it just blocks it up a little bit. You're going to notice that this indicator works off any single chart that you have. So, and that's what you're looking at. So whatever you want to work with, whatever your specific preference is, even if it's an NinjaTrader, you can use that one too. You really can jump into that. Okay, so that is just what the indicator looks like. Let's go back to that analyzer. Let me just bring this up. Okay, so looking back at these results, so I'm going to go into the analysis of it. And this is the half hour of the day for the entry times. Let's look at the daily results. Okay, so this is going to show all the results for every single Tuesday between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So you'll see it's between 2 and 6 trades historically have been entered between that time of the day. So what we're trying to do again, we're trying to get to the stage where we have a good record of data behind us to be able to give us, you know, the odds in our favor of selecting a value that could, you know, that could at least continue what it has done before. So, you know, if we're looking at results like this, we had one day where the strategy lost $1,700, but then on other days, the other previous week that it went down was 500, and it had a very good run of consistent weeks, and these are Tuesdays where it has done very well. So that is what we're trying to do over here. We again optimizing the details, and you know, you can go and select your trading hours. So whichever is your specific time of the day that you want to work with, you can actually go and do that. So let me just put this in a new tab, and I want to bring up another template that I actually saved. So let me just see. So template load. Let me just see what else I've put in there. Okay. These are my weeks data. Okay, so this is January to November on a 25-minute chart. Okay. So let's have a look at this as an intrasec. So we're going from, you know, November, 25th of November. So I'm going to go back to that. Actually, this is from January to November. So that's what it actually was. So let's see if that actually has all that detail. So I'm going to run this. It's only 280 iterations. And we're optimizing the data series. Now, this specific session, because we're running on much larger charts, I do not have the break at end of day active on this specific one. But this is just to give you an idea of what is capable over much larger periods of time. So as an example, this one over here, if you go to the analysis and you go to even monthly on this, this is showing what historically this strategy has produced over these months. So some of you guys may be looking for much longer term approaches, and this is kind of what we are, you know, we're looking at. So these are monthly performances, and there's not a lot of trades on that. So if you go and switch to the chart on this, you're going to see all of these trades being entered, and those are, you know, the plotted positions of them. So it does have an 18,000 drawdown on this one, but that is what, you know, the strategy has basically done over the last, you know, almost a year, really. There is one that's got slightly less. It's obviously, it's less trades as well, But what this is doing is it's acting specifically on the signals. So like this is a 30-minute. So that's a 30-minute. So by optimizing that, it's come up with a 30-minute parameter. So on the right, we're optimizing between 15 and 45 minutes. And that's brought that up. So looking at the analysis of that, it's another situation where it is, it's doing that. So just another strategy that is just made more for the longer term aspects, but I'm also doing some mods to it to be able to add different segments in or different slots so that it can be used intraday a bit more effectively. And that's going to mean resetting, just like we've got on the analytical strategy over here, where we are segmenting the time of the day like we are over here for the different slots. I'm going to be doing the same thing with the shadow trading strategy once I've completed building that. And that will allow for more intraday trading, being able to reset these values of the arrows and the momentum line to be able to do that. Good. So any questions on that? I think a lot of you guys are already familiar with that. So we'll look at that another time too. But there's a bit of a background on this strategy. So it's one of the few strategies that we can use for different periods of the day. Okay, so coming back to this chart, so this is the first trade that has entered on here. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger on this on the screen. So this specific thing has been, you can see it's got all the slots in it. So it's got the value. So it's only going to color the bars where it is basically calculating the settings. So if we scroll back on the chart, you'll see these are all the slots. So the entries and exits for the different slots. And that's from like the beginning of the trading day. Good. Have you guys got your settings right for your session that you're going to be running?
I just re-optimized and they look good here on the optimizer. So let's see.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, same, Jason. Hi guys. Sorry, a little late to the party, but I'm here.
Yeah, no problem. You got your settings for your session ahead also?
Yeah, got everything organized this morning. Again, our time this morning.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep these. This is the first time that I'm actually running the entire trading day like I have before. So I have switched over these specific strategies to my sim accounts, just because I want to run it for today and I want to just see how that affects. And also, because I had a bit of a drawdown yesterday, I actually want to switch over to sim anyway, just because I tend to do that if I have a day that I'm down a bit. I switch over just to I'd like to try and compound that. So there we go. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to bring these two charts back up. So I've got two different strategies running here. So the one is that continuous strategy, but the second one is that shadow trading strategy. So that's the one we're looking at over there. So this is going to act on the first arrow and the momentum line. So that is what this is working on. Again, I'll just increase the size of this. So just looking at the optimization again, I'm going to go and run that optimizer on that shadow trading strategy that we're looking at, which is this one over here. And the good thing to do is you can actually see the plotted positions if they are actually matching the trading chart. So that's an important thing to always do. So I've got the 25 and the 11. Okay, so this is it over here. Now, if you notice on the trading chart, that's exactly where the strategy just exited a position. So it was on this exact same bar, 927.30. So if you look at this one over here, it's the same bar that it exited. So when you're running your optimizer, you can actually confirm that those entries are matching. Now, I also noticed something over there. So I ran this optimizer and I selected, I normally put the day ahead. Okay, so I put the 29th of the 8th up until the 3rd of the 11th. Now watch when I run this. You see the time now, it's 9:30. So I'm going to run that. And notice how it's got the date. Okay, so it's still got the right date. We're going to just watch this open now. Okay, the open has come up, so we'll just watch this play. Now this is only a 10-10 bar, so it's a much smaller bar than what we used yesterday. So looking at both of these strategies, I've got both of them running on two different accounts. So the one we saw is a 25-second account, a 25-second bar, the one on the right. And the one on the left is a 10-10 bar. So quite small, the bar sizes. And like, we have a lot of long bars, especially on the second ones. The 10-10 is going to just be, the 10-10 bar size. There should still be a lot of action though on it. Okay, so the shadow trading strategy has just entered a sell position at that very point, because what's happened is it's actually produced an arrow. So sometimes you can have multiple arrows in the same direction as we did at the bottom over here. But what this strategy is doing, it's optimized to act on the first arrow and the momentum line level. So we're showing like an oversold type of a situation on this one, but it is the first, few minutes of the open. So it does kind of go a bit hectic when it does that. But generally, you're going to get, these arrows giving you a very good indication of where that price is going to be going next. So, at any time you can pause your strategies. You can activate your trailing stop. So we haven't used the trailing stop at all recently. But if you go and click on this button over here, what that'll do is it'll activate a trailing stop. And I'm going to add that same feature to the strategy on the right. So the strategy on the right at the moment doesn't have any buttons on it. It will have, in the very near future, once I've just worked on that. Just a bit of cosmetic things. It's got to happen. And the strategy on the left over here, the percentage is pretty low. So you're going to have a lot of times where the price is going to be bouncing around like a brick wall like this. And it's not necessarily going to be taking, the small profits. This is more designed for like a longer term run. So you'll notice that on this strategy on the right, on the left, if I expand this thing, if I just scroll back a little bit, and we can look at like previous histories of this strategy in action, you'll see over there it's got like long running positions. So that's where like the real bread and butter of the strategy is it doesn't act on a lot of like the price movement in between. It's acting on more of the longer runs. But it is optimized though for each period of the day. So that is what it is. So it's going to react differently for different times of the day, depending on what's happening in the market. So there we've gone up to just over 400 already on this one. Which means this one will be a bit down, but we're still at a point now where this price is likely to come back. So we'll see what happens. So if you notice on the strategy, on the left-hand chart, we've actually got a unique A and B settings for the time slot that we are currently in. So we are currently within, if we look at the times over here, and it's a bit gray, so it'll be difficult to really see. But we're currently in slot number 7, which is 9 to 9:55. And the slot 7 has A and B settings. If I scroll back up, slot 7, come on, why is this thing stuck on me? Okay, so slot 7 has unique A and B settings that are 11:14. So those are the A and B settings that are currently running the strategy right now. I don't know why I'm getting a bit of a lag. I clicked on this and it's just what NinjaTrader does sometimes. So there we go. So we're currently still in this long position over here. You can see we've had multiple arrows over here telling us that this price is very likely to reverse. The strategy on the right has got a much higher drawdown though. You know, it's got 2,600 drawdown. So it tends to have slightly longer running positions that, will exit. It really waits for the price to turn around. Whereas hopefully this one on the left, because these settings are optimized, if this price starts bouncing around in a specific area like this, even, it will change that signal and hopefully go short if the price is going to come down. So we've got more divergences. So you look at the indicator on the right. So, even if you're trading this as a manual setup now, and you're looking at this type of thing, happening, you've got a lot of divergences, a lot of things happening on your chart. I'm getting a slight lag over here. I don't know why exactly. So like this is definitely telling me that there's a lot of divergences over here. So this could be a time where you can say, well, I'm I'm going to, pause my strategy over there. Okay, I've take that, that what was made, but then go and start the strategy again. And what will happen is it'll act on the following signal. So that could be something that, you could decide to do at different points, or even just activate your trailing stop. But you do need to activate that trailing stop at the beginning of, before that position open. So like if I click on now, so I'm going to go and activate, I've clicked, oh crap, you know what, I haven't set up the trailing stop value, so it doesn't help me activating that. So in the settings for the strategy, you got to actually put the values for the trailing stop. Otherwise, yeah, it's not going to be functioning very well. So, over here, as soon as you get these bars that are going like a tomato color, I think it's tomato color, tomato, and like this dark red, it's a very high likelihood that this price is going to reverse. So that's what the shadow trading indicator is doing. Now, of course, there could also be a real genuine push up in the price. But generally, this is going to give you a good indication that, price could likely be reversing in the very near future. This one actually did continue a lot higher. So we currently are another 50 odd ticks. So it would still be in that same signal that we were in. So it's another $250 odd on that one. I don't have an indicator loaded on for the Fibonacci level, so I might do that on another chart, and we can see what that looks like. So let me just bring that up. So 5 minutes. I think a 5-minute chart will do. So again, we've got more divergences. Now, notice how this momentum line has dropped below the price. So that's a very big telling factor that this price is exhausted where it's gone at the moment. It will help me, though, if I'm looking at my Fibonacci levels, because that'll give me an even clearer picture of where price is likely to be stalling. This candle has just been crazy, though. This 5-minute candle, it's just shot up unbelievably. Yeah, so there we're starting to get a little bit of a reversal coming in. So the strategy on the right is the shadow trading one. So this one has a higher percentage. You can see it's got a 68% accuracy rate. So out of all the trades, 68% have been successful, even though it does have that much higher drawdown. So there would have been a few instances where that ran a lot higher. So now you see this momentum line, how it's really starting to face downwards now. So that generally is going to be like a magnet for the price. So on a few of the sessions that we've had, we've been able to look at, that's only a 25 seconds. So it's a bit hard to actually see very clearly what the price is doing on a 25-second bar. We're generally looking at the larger term, the larger numbers. If I bring up another bar, so this is a 5-minute bar. Again, we've got this extremely long candle, so I might change this to even a tick bar, so that'll help us see, what's happening there. So if I switch over to let's just work on a DTB bar chart. And let's switch to like a 22 and a 22 bar. So that's a good little bar to work with. So it works extremely well with the, with the shadow trading indicator, this bar too. So yeah, so that 25-second bar was definitely a little bit too small to look at. So we can tell on this indicator that when the bars are green, the buyers are in control of this price. So that's going to continue running up. We are reaching brand new highs again, which is crazy. So completely new highs. The Fibonacci levels have just really just shot up. It's just going higher and higher and higher. So the Fibonacci levels at this very moment where price is are not going to be as effective than when until the price really comes down and starts bouncing around. So you're better off using like extensions at this stage. But we can see from here all the way from down the middle of the chart after the bars went green. That's when the buyers are in control of that price. So it's very hard to look for a sell opportunity here because this price is shooting up. These bars are all green. We've got our momentum line very high. Now we're getting to a stage where it's majorly overbought again, but there must be something going on in the back end that we're not really focusing on. So either some news announcement or something that's just come out. Otherwise, how are you guys going with your strategies?
My slot starts right now actually at 8:45.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Yeah, I avoid the opening range purposely. So,
okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you would have had a huge run up in price there if you had a strategy on, just like we had on.
Well, then it goes the other way, and then I should have waited. It's always that.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. That is definitely possible. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately, but I mean, this one that I paused, it's still in the exact same signal that it was in. Yeah, so still in the same signal. So when this price does run, it's going to fly. The shadow trading indicator is again giving us a good indication, but this is a small bar though, so we know that it's a small bar. But I must say this, these settings over here on this optimized value are actually presenting beautifully. So you can see how nicely this brick wall painted and from the signal. So you can see we had a buy over there. This was just after 9, so the beginning of this time slot, which is 9 a.m. So what happened, we had our first signal over there. It was a long, and then it went to a sell. And then once it broke through this brick wall and stayed above, it even came to retest it over there. So that's pretty cool. And then we've actually had that one signal run all the way, basically from the open, which was 9:30. And that one signal run up. So that's the cool thing about, running this. And if I go and run the optimizer now, so the cool thing too is you can go run your strategy analyzer. Okay. So there's the strategy analyzer. I'll bring up the strategy that we're looking at right now. So this is the optimization for it. And if I go and run this now, so I'm just going to put it, you got to put a value into a slot. Actually, I won't rerun the slot that we're in because, that I'll run another slot, because what that'll still do, it'll still show us those plotted trades. I want to bring up that exact result that we're using right now and match up those trades. So running that. Getting a lot. So this was a huge push up earlier in price, but we're now definitely starting to get a momentum line variance from the price. And let's just see this one in action. Okay, so let's bring this up and let's see. So that is basically the strategy that we got going right now. So now I just ran the optimization, so it's still showing that we should be in that long trade. So those, you can see the plotted positions are exactly where the strategy actually entered those trades. So if I just minimize this slightly, let's just see. I don't know why this thing's so damn slow on me. If I minimize the strategy analyzer a little bit, and I compare the charts. So the bottom is the actual trading chart that we were on, and this one is the optimizer. So you can see how the bar formation is exactly matching perfectly. So this, even the trades that we're seeing, so that's why it's so important to include the slippage. So always include your slippage in your strategy analyzer, because that's the only way that you are going to get these trades actually plot correctly. So you can see how they plotted correctly, and in real time they actually entered at those very specific places. Now on my trading chart, if you notice over here, it's a bit unclear, but I'm going to just try and bring it up a bit more clearer on the chart. Let me just increase the size of this over here. So these are the bars for the current trade, okay, the one that I paused. Now I'm zooming in basically on the actual entry. So this was in real time. That is exactly where the strategy entered its position, okay? Now, if you go and compare that to the strategy analyzer, you're actually going to notice that the analyzer gave us a less favorable entry. So notice the entry over here. Oh, come on, a little bit slower. So notice on this specific green bar over here. God, I got this stupid lag again. I don't know if it's because I'm so far away from New York and I'm logging into the VPS for my slow internet. But if you look at this green bar, if I can just slightly move my mouse, you'll notice that the actual entry on the chart, or on the analyzer, is worse off than the entry on the actual trading chart. So that's also why you're going to get very slight variations between your analyzer, but we are compensating, we are overcompensating basically by using the slippage. So we actually got a better entry on our trading chart than what the analyzer actually gave us. So that is a good, probably 4 or 5 ticks better entry than what the analyzer would have, says we enter that. So that's why, you know, it's so important to, and it's not always going to be like that. Like, as you can see, the earlier trade is probably spot on. So this trade over here at 9:30 is basically spot on the same bar as this one over here. And the rest are pretty close too. So the rest of the trades. So on our analyzer, whenever you're doing optimizations on the analyzer, always go and use the the slippage. There's a feature in there. Oh, come on, it's so freaking. So always use the slippage feature, because this slippage here is going to give you results that are more in line with actual actual trades. So if you put this as 0, like if I put that as 0, these results are going to probably be a lot higher, probably $10,000 more in results, but it's not going to accurately reflect what the actual trades would be on your chart. So make sure you always add that. And some people who are using the NinjaTrader bars. So whenever you're using NinjaTrader bars, if I just duplicate this in a new tab, it'll just run it again very quickly. I don't have to, I can just abort that, that's all right. So whenever you're running the NinjaTrader bars, always make sure that you are putting the slippage as the value of the bar. So if you're running like a 16 and a 4 bar brick size like this, when you're doing your optimizations, you have to go and put 16 in there. That's what you really have to do that. If you don't do that, your results are going to be completely out of whack. Now, the thing is, once you change your bar size, you're going to have to go and re-optimize all of your values. So this is going to produce very different values now. It's because we're working on a totally different bar size. All these A and B settings that we've got on top here have actually been optimized using that other very specific bar size. So that's why you're going to get, you got to basically go start again. So you got to start again with optimizing all of your slots, your A and B settings, and so on. So that's, something that you have to do every time you are changing your bricks. So once you run an optimization, so we'll run this one here and just see what it looks like. It is a much larger set. And like I said, these values are completely unoptimized. So when you go and change your brick size like that, you got to go to your analysis. And you can go and see now, okay, well, all of these values are very bad. So what you can start by doing is, this is again for the entire trading day. So we'll do a few of these while the market is just doing what the market is doing. I'm not in a new position yet on my strategy, so I'll just let that run. But let's just run through the setup process of the analytical strategy continuous on a new bar size. So this is basically what you guys would do once you want to optimize your value. So say, for example, you wanted to optimize today's trading data and for the last, month's worth of data. You go load it up like this. You got all your time slots open. And then you start with your slot 1. So unfortunately, we can't optimize all the slots at the same time because NinjaTrader basically shits itself if you optimize every slot at once. So you've got to go and do one slot at a time. So you can go like 1 and 20, and we'll do the same thing over here, which is 1 and 20. You can do larger values here. So if you've got a decent system running, you can actually go and do your larger optimizations. This is going to be 400. So it's the first time I'm running this. It's the second time I'm running this bar, so it shouldn't take too long. I think once this gets going, it will run through it pretty quickly. So it is a bit of a process, unfortunately, but remember, we're doing an entire month's worth of data for an entire trading day. So we're basically doing the entire trading day's optimization. So you only really have to do this once for a whole week. So, you know, once for the whole week, because this is on a specific day of the week. So this is for Tuesday. So you would do this on a Monday for a Tuesday. If you want to do Wednesday optimization, you would run on Tuesday, you would optimize all the Wednesday data for the last month, and so on and so forth. So it'll probably take you about 20 minutes or so in total to run your complete optimization. But once that's done, you've actually got your settings to be used going ahead. So notice the previous settings for the other bar was 3 and 2. Now you're going to notice that these are going to update now. Okay, so you can see over here, which is slot A, which is 6:15. We haven't got as many. We've got a slightly better results over here. So it's updated. It's updated these results. So I'm going to go and put these in here now. So our slot 8. So it's given us 8 and 20. So now we've got to go and actually put in 8 as our minimum. So 8 like that, and 20. It's just, I'm sorry, I got a bit of a lag. So 8 and 20. So you've got to make sure your minimum and your maximum are matching, because you're going to move on to the next slot now, you see. So once you got your minimum and maximum matching on your first slot, then you open up your second slot and you do the exact same thing there again. So 1 to 20. And you'll be doing your same thing over there. So 1 to 20, or whichever values. If you can do higher values, it'll be good. So even like 1 to 40 is very good for the slot 2. And then what this will do, it'll run these 400 iterations again. Good. Eduardo, has your strategy started?
Well, the strategy started, but still on a long signal from before, so it has not taken a new one yet.
Oh, it hasn't taken a new position. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then Jamal has been trading on SIM with the NQ and 1483. So that's basically what we would have hit on the strategy that we were running. So on the on this one over here, if we had not actually paused this strategy like I did, it would have exited right over here. You see that this is the end of the time slot. So I basically took half of it off. So this is exactly where that strategy, had I had just left it, would have exited. So over this point. So if you look at that specific trade, I paused it over there, and it would have run an extra, basically 150 ticks. So that is what that strategy basically would have produced. So during this 9 a.m. session that we just ran, and as you can see, the next slot is starting, you see. So the next slot over here is the next slot that's been put into the strategy that's also optimized. So this was actually a very, very good session for this, because it only had a 25 ticks loss, and then it had another 25 tick loss over here. In real time, if I just do this damn thing, it's about 25. Actually, it was a little bit less, about 18. And then from this next entry, it would have run all the way to there, which is a 345. So you're looking at about a 300, and it's just over 300 ticks of profit on this strategy that's been running. And remember, this is one that has got optimizations for the entire trading day. So over the last month, this is what the strategy would have produced using all of those settings. So if I go into right click, if I go into here and I go strategy performance, it is going to give me the results from my pause position, which isn't really what we want to see. We want to see the end result of it, but it's still going to show that. So looking into this, the analysis, I'm actually going to bring up the analyzer, because that is going to give us a true reflection of what happened on the trading day. And also, while we're over here on this analyzer, you notice that the results are getting better. You see, we haven't got as many red bars anymore. So this is what you got to keep doing. You got to go to each value, just like we did over there. So 6 and 6. I'm telling you, I've got a slight delay, but you can probably do this a lot faster on your side. Just like that. And then you go to the next one and next one and next one. So this whole process takes about 15 to 20 minutes max, and you'll get a lot of these values, a lot in the green. And if there are some slots that you just cannot, that are not going to be working for you, you can always go and disable that slot. You can make that specific slot as false, as an example. Okay, so going back to that strategy analyzer. This is the one that we ran earlier. Let me just bring it up. So this is the one that we actually zoomed in and checked. So I'm going to run this again. So this will give us the results up until the end of the session. And we'll actually see where the strategy exited its position. So almost done. There we go. So there's the session close. So again, it's plotted just exactly what it did. So going to the analysis. Now we did start off the day. If I look at the analysis over here, we did start off the day with a few losing positions at the beginning of today. But if I go to the daily one, I mean, it's still the beginning of the day. Well, not really the beginning of the day. It's still early in the day, especially in New York. So it's only like 10 a.m. So the strategy is still going to be trading for the rest of the trading day. So overall, it's basically down $61 so far for the entire trading day. So it started off a lot worse off, but then it's basically recovered, and we'll see what it does for the rest of the day. So this is the history of all of those weeks of the results for those specific days. So, even some of the drawdowns are matching to what we had. So like on this day, as an example, we had a 1,900 drawdown, but we made $9,000 on 156 trades. This one's only entered 30 trades so far. So it's still going to progress throughout the day. These are the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of it trading on this specific day. Good. So I'll leave it at that. Very quickly, I'll show you what this other chart looks like. So this is our 2222 bar chart. So when you're looking at this chart with the indicator, you can see on the shadow trading indicator, we had all those green bars going up, 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 up. And then we had all those divergence arrows over there. And then we've got gold bars now. So as soon as you've got predominantly gold bars, you know that the sellers are in control of the price. And that momentum line has basically sucked that price down. So we've had a beautiful run down of this price all the way from these gold bars over here. Now we've got a divergence arrow telling us there's a bounce. There is a Fibonacci level over here. So even just to that level, there's 100 odd ticks. So definitely opportunities for scalping manually as well as just running the automated strategy like we have run. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Paul, did you have any success on your side today?
Yeah, got a bit of a thump today, but bounce back tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, guys, for being on the call, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
Thanks, guys.